The shocking display at the funeral of George Floyd. Unbelievable. Al Sharpton, Reverend Al Sharpton, the con man, the extortionist, the race baiter, the anti-white Al Sharpton, says at the funeral that George Floyd was just an ordinary brother who changed the world. Well, you know, what happened to Floyd was not right, but he wasn't an ordinary brother, or if he is, then what does that say about African Americans? Because this guy is a 5-time convicted felon, once for armed robbery. It's sad what happened to him, but frankly, this was not a good person, as Candace Owens has broadcast and others have talked about. You know, I generally don't care for Tucker Carlson or Fox News, but he actually gave a good monologue last night. I accidentally turned it on, and he's talking about how Republicans and whites in general are running for the exits over this. There's no even showing that this homicide, if that's what it was race related. But everybody's running for the exits. Even the president of the United States now, we need police reform. No, we need to weed out truly bad policemen. And there aren't that many of them. But that's what can be done. And that's true with all of society. And I'm going to tell you, watch what we do in the next few days, because I'm not afraid. We have to call it as it is. Floyd George, if he was an ordinary brother, and he was not, because the black people are good people generally, this is not the way to proceed. This is complete nonsense. On the top of the City Hall of Beverly Hills is a big neon sign, George Floyd. Well, you know what? Antifa and the other animals busted up about 2/3 of Beverly Hills. You can go to freedomwatchusa.org and see a photo of that on my column that I wrote. It's up there yesterday in WorldNet Daily about how we're taking on Antifa. We've done it now for 3 years. Nobody's doing it. And I'm watching Attorney General Bill Barr again, that blowhard. All talk, no action. Hasn't done anything with regard to Antifa. Now he says with regard to the Steele dossier and what happened to the president with regard to illegal wiretaps and surveillance, he's troubled. Well, that's a euphemism to mean no indictments. You can't expect anything from our federal government. Can't expect anything from state government. We're going to bring in a lawsuit on behalf of Philadelphia policemen to push back because they were discriminated against. They were discriminated against as white policemen. Everybody deserves to be treated equally in this country, black or white. No one gets a special pass. No one gets privileges. Everybody should be treated equally. I'm a civil rights lawyer, in effect. And that's why it's so important to support Freedom Watch. We speak clearly. We don't run for the exits. We take a stand. Our founding fathers did not run for the exits. They took a stand against the lack of any kind of sense of morality, ethics, or religion in society, and stood up for the rule of law and conceived of and enacted a constitution. And we don't have that anymore. What we have, frankly, are a bunch of radicals out there trying to destroy this country, and Republicans, and this was Tucker Carlson's monologue, who are too afraid to take action, in fact, are thrown in the towel and are joining the radicals. Republican Party, frankly, are a worthless bunch of clowns, worthless. And the president now is taking their lead, and that's a real danger for him. He's going to lose his base, and he's going to lose the next election if this continues. And then there's the coronavirus. Continue to be mixed messages from Fauci, who says it's going to get worse. You know, let's keep everybody quarantined. Let's destroy the economy. Frankly, there's nobody in charge of our government. We have no government. And the one thing that left and right has in common, no one believes the government anymore. So we have to take action for ourselves peacefully and legally. Join Freedom Watch's class action against the communist Chinese in Dallas, Texas. Join our criminal complaint in The Hague, Holland. Support our lawsuits and take hard-hitting action. It's not enough to get documents. It's not enough to get on Fox News. Plays out of both sides of its mouth. You can watch even Fox and Friends this morning, which I turned on briefly. They're pandering as well. They're running for the fences. Fox News is a total disgrace. They do not represent conservatives, people of faith, or anybody else. They represent themselves to make more money. And notice, And not just Fox News, but all the cable talk about the coronavirus anymore. They've got something more to scare people with. This whole situation over Floyd George, or whatever his name is, and no disrespect, I can never remember his two first names. But this was not a good person, and he's being made into a Messiah. He is not the equivalent of Jesus Christ, believe me. So go to freedomwatchusa.org. Join our cause. Join our class action lawsuit. Spread this podcast. You can also find it at freedomwatchusa.org, again, at Spotify, on iTunes, on Roku, on Amazon Fire, on Facebook, and on Twitter. And join our cause. Get up off the couch. Do something. Our government won't do it for you. God bless you. God bless your family. God save America. I'll be back tomorrow with another special podcast. Until then, thank you for listening to me.